We're here today at GW Caravans in Derbyshire to take a closer look at caravan servicing. In this video, owner James Hogg shows us some of the specialist pieces of kit used for caravan servicing and tells us what they are used for.
The sort of test equipment we use on a gas soundness test is, this is a manometer. This would be used on caravans prior to around 2002, before the fixed bulkhead regulators came about. So we connect this into the system, and using gas we would test the soundness of the system via various stabilisation times, test times, and within certain tolerances, and depending on the type of gas being used, different test pressures. We can also check the flame failure device with this to make sure that the thermocouples and electronic failure devices have activated within a certain length of time, and make sure that they're holding steady and not letting any gas through even though they've been activated. On caravans later than around 2002 that had the Truma fixed bulkhead regulators fitted, we use this equipment. It's a pressure tester. From 2002 onwards we test the system with air and not gas, although gas is always preferential because gas is searching and it will generally find a leak where air won't. The way we compensate for this is we test at a lot higher test pressure, and also the test time is longer, so that should overcome the issue that we're testing on air and not gas.
The importance of the gas pressure test can't be underestimated. Systematically testing all parts of the gas system in one van identified this cracked gas compression fitting that connected the cooker to the caravan's main gas pipework. The owner had put the smell of gas down to ordinary cooking smells, and fortunately the gas drop vent in the floor had done the job of dispersing much of the gas. Nevertheless, there was still a risk of a gas build-up behind the cooker causing a problem. Needless to say, the fitting was replaced and the system retested.
This piece of equipment we would use for testing the lights on a caravan. So we can plug in the 12N plug into here, or using an adapter, the 13 pin, and we can select through the various points, so we can check the left hand indicator, the rear fog lamp, the right hand indicator, all around there. But also what's important is we can check the 12S side of the electrics. So we can select, say, the fridge setting and make sure that the fridge is drawing an ampage on 12 volts, so we know that it's working. We generally find that if there's a problem with the fridge in a caravan not working while being towed, 90% of the time it's the fault of the vehicle electrics, and very rarely is it a fault of the caravan electrics. So with this piece of equipment we can determine exactly whether it's the caravan at fault or possibly the car at fault. This piece of equipment is an RCD tester. So although it's recommended that you periodically press the test button on the RCD in the caravan, all that really does is check the mechanics of the switch. It doesn't tell you if, should the worst happen and you're going to get electrocuted, that the RCD will activate within the period of time where it should. So with this we can plug it into the system and we can do various tests to make sure that firstly the RCD doesn't trip as a nuisance, it's not going to trip unnecessarily, and we can also make sure that it's tripping within the amount of milliseconds it should do at its tripping current, and again the amount of milliseconds it should do at 5 times its tripping current. So a really important piece of equipment, and we do that on every service.